Hello and welcome, David Judge here, and I have
Damien.
And we have
Jo Leonardis.
Joe. Where are you from?
I'm from Hockingstuart in Richmond.
Fantastic.
I'm the department manager.
Excellent,
Cool.
excellent.
Yes.
And we know where you're from, Damien, so we don't have to ask that.
Yeah. I'm from Brisbane.
Yes, that's right. So we're here today to have a bit of a chat with you around your outsourcing experience you've had with us so far, and we're just going to ask a series of questions so we can get a better understanding as to how it's all going for you.
Fabulous.
So we're about 3 months in.
Yes, we are.
Now. So you've got lovely Ralph.
I've got lovely Ralph, and we're very, very happy with Ralph. Lots of internal training that obviously happened to get him up to speed with our procedures. But it worked really well for us. He was very attentive, and all our procedures and processes basically have been followed by him in an extremely professional manner. Yeah.
So why'd you decide to outsource?
Basically, our business and businesses in general, I think with property management, that's the way that it's going. So we've got an admin girl that we can use now internally to do some other tasks for property management.
Because you've redeployed your team, haven't you? Because Maria was doing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, well, Maria was our admin assistant.
And she's now out on the road.
So she's out on the road now doing inspections and helping out the property managers. So Ralph handles all our paperwork, does our leases, invoices, everything that Maria used to do. He's taken on, which has saved the property managers obviously a lot of.
And that's that's only the first 3 months too. So we are literally, this is what month, the beginning of month 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And just on that as well, so, and if it's okay to ask, you were using another outsourcing provider before working with us, weren't you?
We were, and we were a bit skeptical, obviously, just to try something new, and that was our first time using outsourcing. So for us it was a big challenge, and we understood the concept and wanted it to really work within our business. So after 6 months with them, we've decided to tie the knot and get rid of them and start afresh again. So we spoke to a couple of companies. We were really attracted to Affordable Staff because they dealt with real estate a lot more than some other outsourcing companies. So for us as a business, we needed to make sure that someone we employed that worked for us understood the side of property management that we wanted to portray to them.
Yes, and Damien, how many years in the industry?
Well, I suppose 15, but it's probably more now.
Yeah, like 19?
Yeah,
now,
I'm getting old.
You're working with clients. Yeah.
Stop picking on me.
Yeah, that's right, it's early. And then on top of that, we have a number of team leaders and support people who have had at least 2 years.
Yeah, so one of the things that we tried to do was make sure that all the team leaders and support team in the office in the Philippines have worked on the tools. I've been a Ralph for at least 2 years. And for them, it's career progression. But also for us, it's making sure that as we grow as a business, that the people that are, when something does go wrong, that the people understand what they're looking at. Or if a team member comes to them and says, I'm not 100% sure what this is, they've got the trust accounting experience or that experience to be able to look at the software and go, here's what you should be doing. So we've found that's worked, and that's worked pretty well.
It's worked for us, and for us as well, we wanted that support. We wanted to make sure if there were any issues along the way that we would have someone to talk to about it, and that would not so much hold Ralph accountable, but also make sure that he had enough knowledge to know what was right, what was wrong, and what we needed to do in our business as well to help him through it. So he has become part of our team, which is what we wanted.
Yes, and that's ultimately what you want to achieve. When we first started outsourcing for ourselves, which was many years ago before we even had clients, there were so many different areas you had to learn about and understand and gain that understanding. It's especially from things like cultural perspective and integration perspective, making sure that you have some level of excellence around power, internet, infrastructure. So I remember going through that journey, and it's really scary when you're trying to line all that up. And then for us, our ultimate objective has always been to take away that scariness, or that fear around it, and make sure that it's almost like a plug and play experience.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what limitations have you found?
Look, it is, I don't say it's a limitation, but I think that initially trying to get him involved in our team was probably a little bit...
Was that a team limitation or a Ralph limitation?
I think it was
or a bit of both?
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
We wanted to obviously have him as part of our team and make him feel like he was part of our team. So we're still going to get onto the whole Skype thing, which we will,
one day,
down the track. But we do communicate with him obviously on a daily basis, and he does know all of our property managers. So we've created an email for him, obviously, to be within our email circle where he can see the ins and outs of our business, whether it's related to him or not. It's specific to property management.
Yes.
So he can see the funny side of things. He also sees the serious side of things, which I think is really good because he'll get more of an understanding of what we are like as a team.
But ultimately, that's the goal, is to have a remote team member that it doesn't matter whether they're sitting in the office in the Philippines or whether they're sitting out at Essendon.
Correct.
That they're still part of your team doing the job and plugged in back end. Ralph just happens to be 4,000 kilometres away.
That's right.
And that was one of the things that one of our clients said to us is that when they see their team members, they imagine that they're just on the opposite side of the wall.
Correct. And that's how we feel with Ralph. Even when we were training him, we were obviously on the phone with him, and Maria did a lot of the training. Phone and then Zoom, which worked quite well. So they had a lot of interaction that way. But with the PMs, obviously the interaction is basically via the email system. And it's very quick. His responses are very quick. So anything that needs to be done now, he will do, which is great. He will always ask the question, is there a time frame that this needs to be back if he's got quite a bit of work on? So I really appreciate that because we're not sitting there waiting for things to get done. He's obviously got priorities and his day's set. And for us, understanding his day is just as important as him understanding our day. So anything urgent, I think now he picks up on that. Is this urgent? Do you need this done now? I'll drop everything and get this done now. So it works really well for us.
Yeah, and it's comms, communication. That's been our buzzword for 2019 with a lot of our clients. Is making sure and helping those communication channels flow because it's so super important. Something that can be easily misconstrued and then suddenly can blow out. So it's fantastic to hear you've got the communication stuff going really, really well.
We're all about communication here. So
I suppose a big question though that everyone wants to know, what are the results? And so I go on and talk to other businesses in the Hockingstuart brand and they want to know what are the results. So I suppose, and tangibly, for Ralph to be of value to your business, he's got to add value. So where have you seen that he's added value to your PM team?
Well, he's added value in quite a number of areas. We've been able to restructure our property management business. So we're looking at other ways to make our property managers more efficient and perhaps have more of that one-on-one communication time with their clients. So he has helped save them a lot of time with paperwork as such. Up to a couple of hours a week each property manager. They don't have to sit there and enter invoices for an hour or two. Whether that be weekly or daily, I don't know, depending on what type of invoice comes in. But we trust that it's going to get entered on time. We've got more time for the PMs to sit there and evaluate their portfolios. So really it is about time for them, I think, and making sure that their little portfolio has a lot more communication in it with their clients.
And your business is, when I first met you, is already highly efficient, highly profitable business. Like the gains are, there's no easy wins in your business. From what I could see, compared to some of the other businesses I sit with, you're a profitable business. Your property managers are machines.
They are
very experienced.
Yes.
They go hard.
They do.
So for Ralph to add value was, the wins I suppose for us weren't the easy wins to make. They were
But he is like us. He's efficient. He's quick. He's just like one of us. So basically, I don't know whether we've created that because he's seen how efficient we are, or when we saw him, we're like, yes, this guy is really good, and he's going to be able to do all the other stuff if we need to as well.
A big part of like David and I met you, Peter, Louise, in the office that very first day. And like, part of what we do walking out there is finding the right skill set person. Like there's people that work in our office that are really efficient for and suit other clients that wouldn't have suited your business. So a big part of what we do is making sure that we get the right fit for your business. And that's part of the integration process. That's the onboarding and integration to make sure that we recruit the right people with the right skill set that have got the right fit for you, because
it's about culture as well for us.
It's getting that right for us is probably one of the more important things.
It's one of the critical components of integrating a team member into a business, is making sure that you're personality profiling that person so you know that they're going to be a good fit. There are particular personality profiles for a person that will be able to complete repetitive tasks, have the ability to ascertain what's the most important thing to do that day, to have fantastic attention to detail, all of those different areas. And then there are other clients that require a person to have more of a leadership style, because they're going to be on the phones handling calls coming through, etc., etc. So it's important to have a look at the client themselves, and then like you said, find one of them that you can help integrate.
Right. And that worked really well. And I think one of the best things that came out of that was the fact that you presented us with 2 people that we got to speak to as well through the process, and ask questions that they wouldn't necessarily have heard. A lot of
definitely not. Even Ralph.
Yeah, and just you can just tell, I think.
I was sitting in the boardroom with you when we introduced Ralph to the team,
and he was
sick. He was sick. Oh, that's right, he was
he wearing a face mask?
Yeah, he was wearing his face mask. He was wearing his face mask, but he was so embarrassed, so nervous that day meeting the team. But that's the way we are. Like you're not 100% all the time.
He could have said no, too hard. I'm too sick. I'm too embarrassed, but he didn't. So from get-go, doing that interview with a face mask for us is like, well, this guy's going to be good. He's professional, and I think he's dedicated. So for us as a business, we're able to have our property managers now manage more property, because there's all that other stuff happening in the background.
So have you done the metrics on that yet?
Not just yet.
Okay. And how many properties should a property manager manage?
Well, at the moment, we've always capped our business at 180.
Yep.
But with the way things are going and the efficiency of what's happened over the last couple of months, we're probably thinking that they'd be able to manage about 220.
Yeah. And I look at the journey of a business, and I don't disagree with that, to be completely honest. I look at the journey of a business through the outsourcing, and the first 3 months is what you've gone through, and it's like getting the trust and getting the team engaged and going, I can trust this person. Or here's his shortcomings. How do we, for us addressing some, there's been things that have gone wrong along the way, and for us to be able to realign that so that it's working for you as a business. But once you've got that trust, the exciting 3 months are just about to start for you, because it's starting to go, what else can we get this guy to do?
And that's where I'm thinking at the moment. What else can I get him to do now?
and then what's it going to mean for my team to be able to manage more properties? In the end, that's a metric that everyone uses. There's doors per person in your office. Yeah. So how do I increase from, you're probably 90, 100 doors per person in property management on average across the whole department? Yeah. Like how do I get to 110, and what's that mean? Bottom line, to an already profitable business, makes it, the numbers start getting huge, along with the asset value. So,
but I think one of the most important things is to make sure that person understands and is trained on the processes and procedures, because we spend a lot of time training to make sure that he understands it, because if he does make mistakes, it could be us and our training as well.
Yep.
That's an important part as well. It's a very, very important point to mention, that if you're looking at outsourcing or getting a VA in your business, it's not a matter of having a person come in and bam, they're suddenly able to do everything, because they need to be able to integrate into your business.
They do. And I think that you need to have that person trained up and confident in every task before they run with it 100%. And that's something that we spend a lot of time doing, and I think that's why we've got such fantastic results as well. Ralph didn't know anything about real estate, apart from Property Me, which was great. We were really happy that he understood the system.
But even a few weeks before that, he didn't, and that's one of our strategic decisions that we made, because, as I said to you at the time, I don't want him to bring other businesses' bad habits with him. I want him to learn your bad habits.
And there's that component, and there's also the fact that years ago we would onboard somebody for a month and put them through all the processes, etc. Then we'd put them with a client, and it was like it was day one for them all over again, and they'd have to start from the very, very beginning again. And then we thought, well, we just wasted a month paying these people, to get them up to a certain skill level. When you can have the fundamentals, and then, like we said, the personality profiling, knowing that person's going to be able to pick it up quickly, and etc.
So, Hockingstuart, what advice would you have for other business owners that are looking at outsourcing at the moment? What advice would you have from your experience? And I know and we're talking 3 months, and I'm hoping to be able to come back in 3 months' time and go, okay, we've now done this, but
We've now got 10 rails.
That would be great if we could have 10 rails, but we don't need him just yet.
No. But what advice would you have for other business owners at the moment looking at it?
We've gone through the bad part of VAs and outsourcing. So for us, it was really about trust.
Was that supplier cheaper or more expensive than us?
Cheaper, but not by much.
Not much different.
But I'm a believer in you get what you pay for, basically. So, and you can be promised the world and promised all this support, and then they get into it, and it's not even the VA's fault, it's the people behind them, I think, most of the time. There was no support. So basically, I think that for us as a business, it's been very valuable in the way that you've recruited.
Yeah.
The way we've been able to integrate him into our business, and the way we've got a future now to see where our property management business is going to go, and what we can do internally, to grow him, but also grow our team in other areas. Listing, get out there and be more of a face, opposed to just someone behind a computer that has to, enter all this data.
Sorry,
and that's the boring part of
I took you off topic.
You did.
I did. What advice would you have for businesses that are looking at it? Sorry.
Well, I just think that if your business has the capacity, obviously, to do it, then it's very worthwhile. It's a positive experience. It's something that I think needs to be welcomed in whether it's a small business or a big business. Obviously, a bigger business does work more efficiently.
There's efficiency of scale.
The efficiency plays a big part.
Yep.
So it's very valuable for us in that sense, and I think businesses and the way that property management is going, this is the way property management is headed. Yep. I think there's a lot more outsourcing just in general, and I think that if you're not thinking about it, then you're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Yep. And I look at, I suppose, just to pick up on a point that you raised there, I would say probably our average client would have three or 400 properties, like you say. Like we've got bigger businesses, and there's more efficiency in bigger businesses, but our smallest client's got 80 properties. And they have a Ralph, but they are more of a personal assistant. They're a jack of all trades. They're not locked down to 5, 6, 8 tasks or subtasks. They're actually helping that person be the face to grow. Like, it's, I suppose, a different stage that every business goes through. Like, they're just in growth stage.
Yeah, and every day is different.
Yeah, and every day is different. Every minute's different.
Yeah. But that's a good point you raised, because he is becoming a little bit more of a personal assistant as well, which is great.
So I'll cut this out of the video for you.
Which is great, but he does all the other stuff as well. So it's working really well for us. We love it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it was great to hear how everything's going so far, 3 months in.
Yes,
I look forward to hearing future success.
Yes, in 3 months' time, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.